Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whatever you're doing in the world. I hope you're having a good day. It's still very warm here in the UK as normal. Well, it's not as normal really, but global warming, mate. Climate change, mate. That's what it is. You know what I mean? We're loving it. We're loving it. Bit of climate change. It's good, isn't it, that the climate changes. Last night though, right? So it was really hot yesterday. And then where I live, somebody said to me, "Have you seen the lightning outside?" And I went, "No." And they went, "There's loads of it." So I went and had a look, right? Went outside into the dark, and there was loads of, lightning, like behind the clouds, flashes everywhere. Not a sound. Not, no thunder. Just the flashing. Is that normal? I kept saying, that's not normal. It was eerie. It was like War of the Worlds. It was literally like War of the Worlds. It was eerie and weird. But apparently I was informed that it's quite normal. Beth Gish is here, everybody. And Too Shy 2008 is also here, everybody. Oh, yes. Oh, we can start the stream properly now then. Oh, yeah. So what have we got for you today? My last stream of the week, obviously. And so we'll have a little look at the news. As like, you can't really believe the news, can you? Not all of it, if any of it. Can you? Really? I don't know. It's a bit dodgy. But it's something to do. It's my hobby. I like streaming. I like streaming on the YouTube. I did prefer it in the dark side of the internet before. And, but yeah, the lightning without any thunder. What's that about? That's not right, is it? It's not right.
What?
It's not right. I don't think it's right. It was very weird. It was like the War of the Worlds. It was, but there was no thunder noise. And there was no wind. Really weird. Really, is that weird? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat, or let me know in the comments. Completely normal. Laugh out loud, says Beth Gish. Well, it might be completely normal for you, but it didn't seem very normal to me, I've got to say. So where are we with everything? I'll tell you where we are. We're going to have a look at the news, as we always do, and see what's going on. This is a bit concerning. Opportunities shrinking for too many young people, says major report on lost generation. Well, yeah. Well, it's going to happen, isn't it? It's going to happen. I want to read the article, and then I've got a few questions, right? So I'll get into the article, and then I've got a few little questions, and I've got another little video. Then there's a few answers I've got. Now to see here is here, everybody. Oh, my nose. Again, it's this time of night, I think. I don't know what it is. HARP, weather modification, says now to see here. You could be right. I wouldn't doubt that for a minute. Somebody showed me a photograph talking about the weather, right? Somebody showed me, I lived in Spain for many, 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 many years and lived and worked in the Costa del Sol. Now, I can assure you, right, that typically, I'm on about like 98% of the time, you'd go outside and it was a solid blue sky. Okay? Solid blue. All right, now and again, you'd get some clouds. But mostly where I was, in the Costa del Sol, it was solid blue sky, right? Nazulium is here, everyone. Good to see you, Nazulium. Doing a weird thing with my mouth there. Don't worry about it. It's all right. I've got it all under control. It's okay. It's not a problem. Anyway, shut up. Do what I want. My stream.
Don't talk like one of them. You're not.
I know. I've just got a bit of a thing going on. Anyway. So, yeah, it was a solid blue sky. Absolutely solid blue. Now, somebody showed me a picture of, I think it was Benidorm, that somebody had posted on something like Facebook or somewhere, and it had all the chemtrails. You never saw that when I lived in Spain. Never, ever, 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 ever. So, yeah, geoengineering, in one form or another, in my opinion, is absolutely a thing. It's like the DEWs, the direct energy weapons, the HARP, all that. It's all part of the thing, whatever the thing is they're trying to do. And I think the thing they're trying to do is not a good thing. But anyway, when you know, you know. Most people that watch my streams, they know. The NPCs, of course, don't. But that's the NPCs, isn't it? I know, but they're you know, they're mind controlled, isn't it? So anyway, let's have a look at this. Opportunities shrinking for too many young people, says major report on lost generation. Job and career opportunities for young people are not growing, they're shrinking. With one in six set to be out of work, education, or training in 5 years unless action is taken, a review has found. Well, who's going to take the action? I'd presume you're going to say it would be the government, right? Well, the government ain't very good at doing anything. So I don't think they're going to be very good at sorting this out. The education, health and welfare systems are no longer fit for purpose in preparing young people for adult life, said its author, former Minister Alan Milburn. Now, let's just dive in on that bit. It's not fit for purpose in preparing young people for adult life. Who are these people that are supposed to be preparing these young people for adult life? Are they just people that have been to school, been to college, been to university, then got a job of being able to prepare young people for adult life when they're not even prepared themselves? Is that... Because once upon a time, wasn't it the case, right? Even before I was like at school, before then, wasn't it the case that you used to get teachers and they'd be like people that like the sports teacher might be a retired footballer or some sports person, or you'd get like somebody who was in the sciences or in art. They'd sort of be retired and then they'd go into the teaching because they did that thing and they knew all about it, so they could really, really teach you well. Didn't that used to be how it was? Or am I getting that wrong? I think that's how it used to be a long time ago. But now it's like, so these people, they go to school, they go to college, they go to university, and then they come out with a degree in teaching, but they don't know anything. It's like these politicians, same thing, isn't it? They go through thingy, they learn, they probably go to university doing political studies or something like that, and then they go into politics, but they don't know anything. Do you know what I mean? And it shows. Oh, it shows. Too many laughs, guys. Too many laughs. Jacqueline Watt is here, everybody. Hello, Jacqueline Watt. Good to see you. Good to see you, indeed. Anyway, we'll continue. So we are at risk of a lost generation, he warned, with young adults facing a perfect storm of challenges. The review came as official figures revealed more than 1 million young people were not in education, employment or training, the highest level in more than 12 years. I'm a little Ace Angel. Then change your name on the YouTube. It's not difficult, but it's confusing me. Marie Walker is here, everybody. And no doubt, any minute now, Marie Walker will tell me her name's something else. You know what I mean? Because that's what you do, innit? You go onto YouTube with one name, and then when I say your name, you tell me that's not your name, it's another name. Look, I'm a simple machine. I turn tea into piss. It's very confusing for my little mind. You need to change your name if you want the name that you want the name. Okay? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, don't worry. It made sense to me, mate. So, yeah, the review came as official figures revealed more than 1 million are not in education and employment, the highest level in more than 12 years. The figures add to growing concerns over the number of young people not being able to secure a job in the UK. Milburn said rejections for young job seekers are submitting dozens, sometimes hundreds of applications had become the norm and challenged a characterisation that They young. See, this is a problem. That is actually spelt T-H-A-Y. This is the BBC's website, right? That is spelt characterisation they. That's surely no. Am I being thick now? Is that supposed to be T-H-E-Y? I'm sure it is, but it's T-H-A-Y. Is T-H-A-Y actually legitimate? Can somebody? That shouldn't say that, should it? That shouldn't say that. That absolutely shouldn't say that. It should say they, not they. Anyway, the problem is that too many young people opportunity. Where is it? Where's it gone? I've lost it now. Shush. Application young people that they're not trying to work. Oh God, where's it gone? The figures add to growing concerns over the number of young people not being able to secure a job in the UK. I had to go back because I'm lost. Milburn said rejections for young job seekers after submitting dozens, sometimes hundreds of applications had become the norm and challenged the characterisation they, with an A, not an E, young people were not trying or were work-shy snowflakes soft. The problem is that for too many young people, opportunities are not growing, they're shrinking, Milburn said. You put in an application dozens at a time, you hear nothing back, you just get rejected, he said. Milburn was tasked with investigating why so many people are not in employment, education or training, known by the acronym NEETS. His interim report, released on Thursday, does not include potential solutions to the crisis, but these will come at a later date in a final report. I'll be interested to see that. How they reckon they can sort this out. I bet he got paid a pretty penny to actually do this. You know what I mean? This is a visceral feeling. There is a visceral feeling in the country. It's bordering on a fear in the country among parents and grandparents that this generation is going to be the lost generation, Milburn said. The old contract in society was always you put in effort and get a reward. Each generation would do better than the last. This contract has been broken for this generation. That's not good. That is not good for them. Definitely not. His review and other statistics paint a grim picture for young people in the UK. 6 in 10 NEETs have never had a job in 2025. This was 4 in 10, the report says. But 84% of NEET young people surveyed want a job or training, it adds. There were 1,012,000 young people classed as NEET between January and March 2026, making up 13.5% of all young people in the UK, according to the Office for National Statistics. The number of people classed as economically inactive, not looking or available to work, rose to about 613,000. The number of people classed... The number of young people classed as unemployed, not in work, but seeking a job, was estimated to be 400,000. Entry-level jobs have sharply declined, with the number of mid and lower skilled jobs in the economy falling by around 1.6 million over the past 20 years. Vacancies in hospitality have halved in the last 4 years alone, ONS data also shows. Right, where we got the cumulative cost of almost 1 million NEET young people to the UK economy has been estimated to be £125 billion per year, according to the review. We provide money for illegals. See, this is the annoying thing for me. Over 10 million a day for illegal immigrants to be housed. And we've got potentially kids that were born and raised here, families been here for in generations, right? Paid taxes. And they're going to be on the scrap heap. And they're going to have all sorts, they're going to have mental issues. They're going to have all sorts of issues. Oh, they literally are going to have all sorts of problems if they can't get some sort of meaning to life. Because after all, we all need a meaning. We all need some sort of purpose to actually get up in the morning. Anyway, This includes 38 billion a year in lost economic potential and 63 billion a year in loss due to economic scarring, as they are less likely to work in the future. It also includes losses in tax revenue, increased health and benefit spending. The total estimated is more than what? Who's wrote this? What sort of incompetent has wrote this? The total estimated is more than annual education spending in England. It shouldn't have read like that, should it? It should have read the total estimated is more than the annual education spending in England, but it doesn't read like that. Who's wrote this? It's the BBC. How much money have these people got? Who have they got writing this? The total estimated is more than annual education spending in England. Oh, it's fucking... Yes, Marie. R.I.P. Henry. Who's Henry? Henry Novak. Who's Henry Novak? What have I missed? R.I.P. Henry Novak. I have no idea. Well, R.I.P. Henry Novak, whoever you were. I know. I don't know who that is. But they're chatting about it in the thing on the side that has words. When they push the buttons and push enter, the words appear. It's magic. Anyway, Work and Pension Secretary Pat McFadden said the review laid... sorry, I've got to go. Total estimate... Oh, yeah, exactly. More than. Prime Minister Keir Starmer called the report sobering and said he would work with Milburn on what needs to be done to tackle problems. No, he won't. He don't care. It's not about that. They don't give a shit. The kid who bled out. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, that's... Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Is that the one the police arrested and handcuffed while he was dying and they didn't believe him? Whose head's going to roll for that? Nobody. Did you see that other video that's online? There's another video online, right? If you're not seeing Copper Stopper on YouTube, right? There's a YouTube channel called Copper Stopper, I think it's called. He does some brilliant videos. And he looks at, like, police mishandling of things, you know what I mean? When they overstep the law and the boundaries and all that. And he does some brilliant videos, right? Copper Stopper. And there's this kid. He didn't do anything wrong. He was just... There was loads of youth, right? And he didn't really do anything wrong. He was just answering back. So the old Bill grabbed him, pushed him up to a railing... You know, with the sharp bits of a railing. Yeah. I don't want to get too graphic, but he ended up with the railing going through there. And it was filmed on a CCTV camera. It's gross. And they had him handcuffed, and they said he fell down, but they pushed him. And you can see it. And do you know what happened to them police? Nothing. Nothing. And it was... Watch Copper Stopper. You'll be fuming. You'll be fuming. It's horrendous. I know it's this country's gone to pot, mate. You got to. At the end of the day, if there's anyone who can do anything about it, in my humble opinion, it's Restore Britain. I don't know. I'm just saying. At this point, I think it needs absolutely radical. There needs to be a shockwave through government, and the only people that will do it is Restore UK. You Restore Britain. So close to reform, isn't it? Can't reform. But I don't know. I don't vote. I don't know if these people are going to be what they say they are. I hope so. But we shall see. Hopefully they'll win. Hopefully they'll win that election. What's it called? Makerfield by-election. Hopefully they win it. Hopefully the people come out in droves in Makerfield and vote for that lovely lady who's standing for... That brave lovely lady who's standing for Restore Britain. Because that... What? White Polish teenager. Am I thinking about the wrong lad? How many of these lads are getting done? It's mad. I don't know. Is this another one? And they're all drowning at the minute as well. Have you noticed that? We've had like a few days of hot weather, and all you keep seeing is these youths going into the water and drowning. Are they not teaching them to swim anymore? When I was a kid, we used to swim in anything when it was hot. Anything. You didn't hear about anybody really drowning. And all you're hearing at the minute, they're all drowning. It's like, what? I don't know what's happening. Work and Pension Secretary Pat McFadden said the review laid bare the scale of the challenge and the root causes of youth unemployment we now need to confront. We are already taking action by bringing forward the biggest youth employment reforms in a generation to create 500,000 opportunities for young people, including a youth jobs grant for businesses starting next month, more apprenticeships and subsidised employment to help young people get a foot on the ladder, McFadden said. But Shadow Work and Pension Secretary Helen Whatley criticised the government's policies, claiming Labour had made it harder for a young person to take their first step into work. Liberal Democrat Treasury spokesperson Daisy Cooper said her party had repeatedly warned that Labour's jobs tax would hammer job opportunities for young people and that their business rates hikes would kill off high street job opportunities. The report said there is not one factor causing the crisis. With the COVID pandemic, smartphones and the current jobs market all having an impact. The evidence does not support a single explanation, he said, adding that there was no evidence of a link between migration and joblessness among young people. There it is.
Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem.
It's absolutely nothing. Let's emphasise that fact. Let's just get that out of the way, eh? Let's emphasise the fact the evidence does not support a single explanation, he said, adding that there was no evidence of a link between migration and joblessness among young people. Of course there is. Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? If you've got more people here that are working for less money, there's going to be, migration is causing housing crisis, healthcare crisis, schooling places, everything. We're a little island. It's course. How can you say there is no evidence? Just shows you how it's just bullshit. There's no other word for it. That is absolute BS. Of course it's going to have an effect. I'm not saying it's going to be totally responsible, but it's absolutely going to have an impact. It supports something harder to accept, that the institutions we built to support young people into adulthood are no longer fit for that purpose, and that the country has known this for some time. In a speech, he added that changes in mental health had also reduced the supply chain of young labour, with a sharp increase in the number of NEETs reporting anxiety and ADHD as a key factor as to why they are not in work or training. Got ADHD, right? And what do you mean job? What's that? I'm tired. And what? How much is it? Oh no, my HCAD's gone through the roof now. It's 150 grand a year, mate. You only got to work 40 hours a week. You get 150 grand. Where do I go, mate? You know what I mean? Yeah, but that ain't happening. ADHD. I can't do it. I got anxiety. I'm anxious. What are you anxious about, mate? Going to fucking work, mate. I really don't want to do it. I don't want people telling me what to do for £6 an hour when I can sit at home on me phone or go for a walk, or go and potentially drown in a river with me mates. It's not funny, Gas. Too many laughs. That weren't funny. That was very inappropriate, that was. Oh, well. Yeah, so what have they got? Hang on. We weren't... where is it? Oh, I've lost it again. Shut up. Connecting with people... Oh, God, hang on. Where is the HDAD bit gone? Oh, there it is. Systemic problems, he claimed, were also leading to a bedroom generation who doom-scrolled and did not leave their rooms. Doom-scrolled. Watch my stream. That's doom-scrolling. Oh, dear. The report featured one young person detailing the effects of the COVID lockdown. You should have gone out, mate. You should have gone out with your mates. What was you thinking? All of us lot went out. What was you thinking? Do you know what I mean? And who's going to be held accountable for all this? Nobody. Nobody in government. Nobody. Absolute scam. We weren't really seeing people in person, so we didn't get used to the social aspect of connecting with people. Oh, my God. Maintaining eye contact, hand gestures, and all sorts. We were just sitting behind screens. There were skills that people were struggling to... They were skills people were just struggling to develop, he said, as he spoke through his letterbox. Because he couldn't look at the bloke that was asking him the question. Because he's going, anxiety. Luke, who studied product design at university, said he applied for more than 400 positions and had only secured one interview as a cleaner, which he did not get. Fucking hell. All right, mate. Yeah, I've got a job here. I've got a cleaning company, mate, you know what I mean? We clean the toilets, we clean the stairs, we hoover the floors, we polish the landing. Right, you got any qualifications in this sort of work? No. Ah, okay, well, we do give training. We're looking for somebody a bit long-term for this position. What sort of things have you been doing? Well, I studied product design at university. Next! How much did he borrow for that? How much debt has that one got? It's a nightmare. It's madness. I never studied product design at university, but I'm selling luxury products. This is my point. This is my point. I have never been... I left school at 15 with no qualifications, right? I've got 3 businesses at the minute. Yes. I create luxury products that sell. High-end prices that sell. Yes. Never did a graphics thing in my life. Did all of it. Marketing. With my catering business. I had a posh guy ring me up one day and he went to me. He went, you're obviously from a marketing background. Because of the way the website looked and everything, which I used to control. And I went, nah. Felt like going, you what, mate? Of course I fucking ain't. But that's the trouble, see. The people that are teaching these young people to go out into the world ain't teaching them that they don't need shit. They just need to get on and get it done. That's all they need. They need the determination and the grit and the willpower to thrive and survive. But they're not teaching them that because the people that are teaching them that haven't got that either. You have to have something about you. And what are they teaching them? They're teaching them nothing. Nothing. Luke, who studied product design, it's humiliating, the 23-year-old said. 23 years old! I left home at 15. 23 years old. I've done more than obviously Luke has. You think, okay, I've got all the knowledge, I've got all the skills, all I'm waiting for is a job to put it all into practice. It makes you depressed, especially the amount of rejections. Is that him? Rocky is an assistant manager at Nando's. There's Rocky. Hello, Rocky. Meanwhile, Rocky has been out of work for a year before he joined Nando's as a waiter. 3 years on, he's now the assistant manager. And that's how you do it. He'll probably end up owning his own restaurant or a franchise of Nando's one day, because he's gone in and done it. You got to do the low end stuff and learn, take in everything around you while you're doing it. Young people don't watch nobody fucking watches my videos, but it don't matter. But young people need to watch these videos because I could tell them exactly what they need to do. I'm 23 years old and I'm a manager. No, you're not the manager, mate. You're the assistant manager, all right? Don't get above yourself. I'm the manager at Nando's, he says. I feel happy with myself. I can look back and tell my doubters that I made it. Well, you ain't really made it, mate. Not really. Not really. You will one day, because you will end up having, you might have his own chain of restaurants one day. And I tell you what, when he does, do you know the best bit about it? When he does it, they'll all have, all his staff will be fucking robots. 2 million laughs. That'll be the case. You'll walk into one of his restaurants, you know, well, I won't, I'll be dead by then. But somebody will walk into one of his restaurants and it will be a little android that serves and waits on you. And he'll be laughing all the way to the bank. We'll get into that in a bit more in a minute. Milburn said the problem in the UK was worse than in other countries, with the number of young people out of work, training or education being 3 times higher than Holland and twice of Ireland. High street retailers and hospitality businesses such as restaurants, cafes and pubs often offer the first experience of work for many young people. Some employers have argued it has become more difficult to hire young people due to the higher minimum wages and increased taxes. That's the government. Such as employer national insurance contributions through the Institute, though the Institute of Fiscal Studies found there is no clear evidence that higher minimum wages has been a major driver of young people becoming NEETs. Have they actually gone along to these restaurateurs and these pub owners and managers and all that and said to them, why aren't you hiring young people? And got the actual why they're not doing it? Obviously not. The boss of Next, Lord Simon Wolfston, told the BBC this week that just 2 years ago, the retail giant typically received 10 applications for every shop vacancy, but that number has since risen to 19. David Fox, founder of the Tampopo restaurant chain, said inflation and the cost of employing workers, such as national insurance contributions increases and higher minimum wages, were preventing him from hiring more young people. So the people that are actually doing it are actually saying that is the problem, when there's no evidence of that. Fuck. The IFS also pointed out its latest research that young adults aged 18 to 20 are largely exempt from employer national insurance. Oh, well, I didn't know that. Largely exempt. What does that mean? I don't know what it means. But I've got another thing for you here as well. Be it hospitality is no career. Now to see here says, be a bricklayer or a sparky. There should be training opportunities for these youngsters, right? There should be absolute training. They've been through education, right? See, this is the problem. They've been through. We've all done it. Well, I certainly have. I came out of school with not one qualification, which shouldn't be allowed, realistically, right? I should be able to sue the education system for lack of education, because it was their responsibility to educate me, and they didn't. I've had to work all this shit out on my own, right? Which has made me very bitter and twisted, as you can probably see. But, right, where's the training then? Where's the education? They've been in the system for enough years. That should be laid on. That should all be there. So it's like I said to you yesterday, right? 100 years ago, they had a car. Look at the car 100 years ago and look at the car today. Look at the absolute improvement over 100 years. Look at education. Look at education 100 years ago and look at it today. It's relatively the same, isn't it? Look at politics 100 years ago. Look at it today. Relatively the same, isn't it? No Could you see any massive improvements? Blair, remember Blair? Remember him? He was the guy who wanted everybody to go to university. What was that about? And then getting all these ridiculous degrees and getting into loads of debt. That's what it was about. Getting all the young people into debt early on. Because then they've got them. Because the last thing they want is you being free with no debt. They don't want that. That's the last thing the system wants. They don't want you wandering around doing what you want, whistling, debt-free, just getting by. No. Anyway, yeah, I've got another thing to show on that. So this is another, see, they didn't even mention this. This is the BBC, right? And they didn't even mention this in the article. And this is going to demonstrate to you in one foul swoop, right? In about a minute and a half. I don't even have to tell you what this is. You will know instantly what is going on when I show you it. And you will absolutely, guaranteed, 100%, right? Hang on.
This robot.
Shush, mate. Right? So have a look at this. And then you'll see this. Forget everything else. How are they going to combat this?
This robot company, right? Figure AI is a robotics company. They did a 24-hour video. Look at this. A 24-hour video comparing a human versus a machine. And so this is a person versus Jim the robot. Damn, bro, he had to rest? Oh, they should dock his pay for that. Wait, he needs water. Oh no, he's got to use the bathroom? Oh my god. Well, he's not working. Where'd he go? You're supposed to be working, Jim. Wait, was he Jim? Maybe, no, this is Bob. I don't know who this is. He had to breathe? Yeah. But after 30 minutes, dude? Come on. What is this? Man. Well, the robot's still working, though, right? Yeah, I mean... Okay, let's see what happens. You got 10 seconds left. It did the job? Yeah, let's see. And it's over. All right. Wow. So he beat the robot by 200 packages. And then... Oh, he's just flexing on him. Oh, he's just flexing on him, bro. He went all day. Dude, he got completely mogged by this robot. Oh my god.
So how are they going to fix that? How are they going to fix that? They ain't fixing that, are they? This is the tip of the iceberg. This is the tip of the iceberg. Maybe that's why they give everybody that. Because eventually everybody will be like, because they're not going to be needed for nothing. For nothing. So they didn't discuss that in the article, did they? Because they got no answers for that. There's no way it's impossible for them to answer those sort of questions because they're just thinking, oh, it'll work itself out. No, what I would say is, no, it won't work itself out. They just don't care anyway. They're getting paid to do these, whatever they're doing, these reports, aren't they? Excellently, I should imagine. And then it gets even weirder, right? This sums up the UK at the moment, right? This really does. If you ain't seen this, have a look at this. Council pays £470,000 for own clean air zone breaches. Yeah, you heard it.
What?
Yeah, mate. Absolutely. 100%, mate. So the council pays $470,000 for own clean air zone breaches. Birmingham City Council has paid more than £470,000 to itself in daily charges and fines because its own vehicles break the rules of its clean air zone policy. No words. Led by donkeys. How? What? 400 and nearly £500,000 for their own rules. Even though there has been a year-long bin strike in the city, most of its vehicles facing daily charges were from the waste department. What? What? Are you fucking... The authorities said it has been replacing non-compliant vehicles over the past 12 months. Don't you think you should have done that before you introduced the scheme? Don't you think you should have looked into that before you actually introduced the ridiculous net zero nonsense? Another stealth tax. They don't care. It's not their money. They don't give a shit. But they should be held accountable for this. That's the point. See, that is the point. Somebody should be held accountable for that. But they won't be. The authorities said it had been replacing non-compliant vehicles for the past 12 months and wanted eco-driving across its fleet, but admitted 1 in 8 vehicles still did not comply with the zone's emissions standards. No words, really. Since the GAZ scheme began in the city centre in 2021, non-compliant vehicles in Birmingham's fleet have triggered 3,262 daily charges and fines, a total cost 472,253, and there'll be more today, and there'll be more tomorrow, and there'll be more the next day, because they're incompetent. Government commissioners have been working with Birmingham City Council since it issued a so-called Section 114 notice in 2023, declaring its own effective bankruptcy. Well, that's a surprise. In March, the council's then Labour leader hailed its first balanced budget in 3 years. The number of daily charges and fines the council has paid to itself represented around 20 times the number paid by any other UK council in a GAZ low emission zone or ultra low emission zone, which was able to disclose any similar payments for breaking their own emissions standards. There shouldn't be any anyway. In my opinion, I don't agree with it at all. Money paid in charges and fines goes towards the CAT's operating costs and covering some government charges, while any surplus has to be spent on transport or environmental schemes. It cannot go back into the council's general funds. Kings Heath Food Bank coordinator Sharon Power said the countries in this state, people are having to choose to heat or eat, and they, the council, spending money right, left and centre. It's absolutely appalling. Food bank organisers said their own work relied on the goodwill of volunteers, but some could not afford the city's CAT's charges. I avoid my van's not compliant. I avoid these places like the plague. I'd love to go into some of these cities and have a day out, but I won't go with my van. I ain't doing it. I just am not doing it. A request made to the council for the food bank's volunteers to be exempted from CAS requirements was refused, its organisers said. We don't care if you're trying to help poor people eat. Bollocks! No, you pay. Or you stay. Unbelievable. Under the CATS scheme, the daily charge for the vehicles that do not meet emission standards is £8 for cars, vans and taxis, or £50 for HGVs and coaches, unless a valid exemption is in place. It is enforced using automatic number plate recognition, which records vehicles travelling within the ring road. The 15-minute city network coming well into force. Simon is here, everybody! Legend. The legend that is Simon is here. Hello, mate. Good to see you. Anyone who fails to pay within 6 days after entering the zone faces a £120 fine, which is reduced to £60 if paid within 14 days. Absolute criminal. Absolute criminal. Volunteer driver Pete Hammond was wrongly sent fines totaling around £800 for his trips to the food bank, which took him by surprise as his new car was the same model as his previous one. The council insisted Pete asked the manufacturer for paperwork confirming that the car met the rules. After he provided that, his fines were cancelled. Using the Environmental Information Regulations, the BBC was able to secure data about the council's GAZ spending on purchase cards. The data did not make clear if or how often the councils paid higher fines for late payment over all of the 5 years. The most recent fines covered by council purchase cards in the past financial year were all paid by city operations. There were 4 £60 payments on 30th of March 2026. So they've even got late payments on their own system with their own people in their own vehicles. Oh, this place, these people are supposed to be running things. It's insane. Before the CATS was introduced, the council said air pollution was responsible for shortening the lives of about 900 people per year. That's been disproved, by the way. That's been disproved. That's nonsense. Its aim was to reduce the most harmful air pollutants, nitrogen dioxide and particulate matter. Has anybody ever been to China? Has anybody ever been to India? Has anybody ever been to Mexico? Has anybody ever been to Americano, Canada, Australia? Has anybody ever seen how many aircraft take off at Heathrow every minute of every day? Has anybody seen Musk's SpaceX? Has anybody ever seen NASA's rockets when they take off? Has anybody ever seen the military planes, the ships, the tanks? No. What we're going to do is we're going to make you pay a fine if you come into our city in a car that we deem the wrong emissions, mate. And if you don't pay it on time, you can pay 120 quid. And if you don't pay that 120 quid, they'll be on your doorstep trying to take your motor or everything else you've got. It's mental. The aim was to reduce the most William Bloss, Professor of Atmospheric Science at the University of Birmingham, helped lead a study on the CAT's impact. He said research showed there were now fewer of the older high-polluting vehicles driving in the CATs, and there had been a definite step change in NO2 levels linked to the policy. Further health benefits would, however, need continued societal changes, such as how we heat our homes. Net zero, it's all that, isn't it? Not just the vehicles used on the city's roads. A council spokesperson said it had now established a central vehicle management service to fast-track transition to the modernist low-emission fleet, driving efficiency, economy, safety and sustainability. Those cars ain't sustainable. Those batteries are finite resources. It's all. Where does the electricity come from? It's just, honestly, when this all first came out, this net zero stuff, I thought, nah, they ain't gonna do that. Nobody's that thick. Since the COVID, I just give up on everything, really. I just look at it all just like it's just a clown show. The whole thing's just insane. It's just a load of lunatics running everything. That's all it is. It's just madness. The spokesperson added that the council... Oh, so CAT's requirements. Oh, hang on. Fleet. Oh, hang on. What's this? They said only 142, 12% of the 1,170 council-owned vehicles in its fleet as of the 31st of March remain non-compliant with the CAT's requirements, and a large number of these vehicles were minibuses related to social services and education provision. The spokesperson added the council was looking to develop eco-driving across the fleet, starting with the monitoring its vehicle's throttle usage. God help me. Help me. So they're going to monitor now the people driving the cars for their throttle. Yeah, we need to see you in the office. You what? They want to see you in the office. No, the big office. The big office? Yeah. What do they want to see me in the big office? Well, you're going to have to go up there. They want to see you. Okay. Come in. Hello, mate. You want to see me? Yes. What's the problem, mate? The problem? The problem? We've got the data back from your driving with your foot heavily on the accelerator. What are you thinking? You're going to destroy the planet. People get paid a lot of money for them jobs, don't they? They do. They get paid a lot of money for them sort of jobs. It's fucking mental. Eco-driving. Starting with monitoring its vehicle's throttle usage, speed, mileage and idling in an effort to reduce fuel usage and carbon emissions. The council said it ran some exemption schemes from CAS charges subject to specific criteria being met, but there were none specifically for council vehicles or those used by its contractors. Pollution charges first took... They're not pollution charges, they're stealth taxes. Stealth taxes first took effect in the UK in London's ULEZ in 2019. Bath became the first city to have cats outside London in 2021, and 6 other English cities have since followed, including Birmingham. There are 4 further LEZs in Scotland. Madness. Madness. It's only going to get worse, isn't it? It's only going to get worse. Nothing's getting better. But sadly, nothing is. Nothing is going to get better. I've waffled on quite a bit. I've got loads to tell you as well. It don't look like I'm going to get to it. I'll rush through these because I want to get to the last one, because the last one's quite funny. So if you've run around this long, thank you very much. Please remember to give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up, the stream, you know, it helps. And please comment in the chat, people. Not the chat, in the thing. In the thing underneath the video. Not the chat, the live chat. Comment in the other thing. Nobody comments in there. What is wrong? Anyway, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Although I still always say I'd rather it said follow than subscribe, because subscribe sounds like you've got to pay for something, and I'm sure nobody would want to pay for this. But anyway, you haven't got to pay for anything. Let's have the next one. US, Iran await Trump sign-off on 60-day ceasefire plan. Basically, I'm not going to get into it, but basically, right, is he just doing it again to bring down the oil price before the weekend so they can do their trading again? And then come Monday, oh, it's all off, we're back at war, whatever, so the price goes back up again. Is that what that is? That's what's been happening, isn't it? You know, there's a nice little talk of the, you know, the peace yeah, we're all going to have an agreement. Yeah. Near the weekend, then the oil price comes down, and then by Monday, they're all talking about killing each other again, aren't they? Or more like Americano and Trump, who is probably not even having any discussion with Iran, to be fair. But that's a whole different story for another day. We will get there. Yeah, so I thought I'd bring that up. I thought this was interesting. We'll just briefly touch on this one. UN puts Israel on same sexual violence blacklist as Hamas and ISIS. Well, you would, wouldn't you? The dirty, bloodthirsty maniacs that they are, allegedly. Well, it's not alleged, is it, really? Let's be fair. Mass genocide. And they're bombing everywhere still. They're still bombing everywhere. And killing people all over. And then saying they bombed a hospital, apparently, the other day. And they said they were trying to get the Hamas, commanders in the hospital. Yeah, they like bombing hospitals, don't they? And remember all the grapes they were doing to people in their case. Apparently, those people in the flotilla, they had them flotillas and they went out and they grabbed them all and they brought them and really roughed them up. And that was that Jewish guy was really horrible to them. And there was a big hoofah. Well, it weren't a big hoofah. They can't do anything about a big hoofah about Israel, because Israel's in charge, you see. It's because they're in charge of everything. And they've got everybody who's in the Epstein files. Who's in the Epstein files, mate? Absolutely, everyone. How's the stream going, by the way?
It was fucking biblical, mate.
Cheers, mate. So, yeah, we'll read this. The United Nations has added Israel entries to a blacklist of countries that commit actual violence with an X, with an S, and actual violence in conflict zones. A list that includes Hamas and other terror organisations, the Jerusalem Post reported on Wednesday. The Israeli prison service will be included on the 2026 list, along with other Israeli authorities that have entered a monitoring framework for possible future inclusion. A country or armed group remains on the UN Security General's list for a minimum of 1 year. Hamas was added in August 2025. Israel has announced the freezing of relations with the UN Secretary General's office and the cancellation of Pramila Paten's planned visit to Israel. Israel made it clear it would not maintain contact with the UN Secretary General's office as long as Antonio Guterres heads the organisation. The UN Secretary General has put Israel on the same blacklist as Hamas, ISIS, and the most depraved terrorist organisations in the world. I thought they were the main ones. I thought that's what they were. Anyway, yeah, so that was quite funny, really. What have I got to? Yeah, I've got enough. Then we're gonna get to the great. This is a great one. This is. I love this one. I really like this one. I do like these stories. They warm the cockles of your heart, don't they? You ready? Are you ready? Drag queen Pattie Gonia fights trademark lawsuit by Patagonia. Too many laughs, Gaz. Too many. It's too many. It's brilliant. A drag queen named Pattie Gonia has urged outdoor apparel company Patagonia to drop a lawsuit in which it alleges the performer is causing irreparable damage to its brand. Too many laughs, guys. Just too many. Wine Willie, who performs as Pattie Gonia, said the firm was threatening the erasure of my name, my advocacy, my community, and the livelihoods of those employed by the drag queen and climate activist. Climate activist, of course he is. If Patagonia wants to celebrate Pride Month this year by taking a queer climate activist to federal court, then I'm here to fight for myself, Wiley said, as he flicked back his wig. Patagonia told the people, this is right, so when I say Patagonia, that's the company. When I say Patagonia, that's the draggy. Oh, God. So Patagonia told the BBC the last thing we wanted was a legal fight with someone who shares our values. But that it was acting to protect its business and employees. Wiley has amassed millions of online followers performing as Pattie Gonia, including through charity fundraisers such as 100 Mile Hiking in Drag. Oh, fuck. Oh, God, it makes its own self up, doesn't it? In an open letter to Patagonia's leadership, Wiley said Pattie Gonia had raised 3.7 million, bit like Savile, for environmental causes altogether. The performer said that Patagonia trademark lawsuit amounted to its CEO Ryan Gelbert and other executives deciding that I must cease to exist. Why don't you call yourself Gonia Pattie? We'll just change it back to front. You know what I mean? Who cares? It was the artist's first time addressing the lawsuit with Patagonia, which Patagonia filed back in January in Los Angeles, California. Patagonia's legal action alleges Pattie Gonia competes directly with the products and advocacy upon which the firm built its brand. But if they've got the same, if they reckon they've got the same feeling about everything, what's the problem? If that's the sort of people that are buying their shit, what's the problem? You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it is putting people off. You know, like it did with me with North Face, Bud Light, and Jaguar, and anything else that these lot get involved in. I will steer so clear of it. It's unbelievable. The company said in the filing that it was responding to Wiley's application to trademark Pattie Gonia as a brand, moving from simply using the persona to potentially selling products and organising events. Yeah, it's a big problem. It accused the performer of breaking an agreement with the firm about how to use the Pattie Gonia name, including use of fonts and designs with similarities to Patagonia's logo. You can't do that. You can't do that. I have got trademarked goods and logos. My logos are trademarked. If I saw somebody infringing on my logo, mate, they'll be getting a cease and desist straight away. It accused the performer of... Oh, right. The company said it would have filed a lawsuit regardless of whether the Oregon-based performer shared its values. Whether we don't care. We don't care, mate. Get your wig off. Get them eye heels off. Take your silly makeup off. And change your name. The firm is asking for a nominal $1 plus legal fees to stop Pattie Gonia from being registered as a trademark. The company, named after a remote region of South America spanning Argentina and Chile, was founded in 1973. Well, I didn't think you could name yourself after areas. That's like me having a brand called Paris or London. Imagine me having a brand called London and I copyright it. And then London's got to change its name because I own the copyright to London. What does Patagonia have to say about this? The actual country. Do you know what I mean? It's like McDonald's. McDonald's moaned about about somebody calling themselves McBurger or something, right? And then McDonald, the guy, like Lord McDonald or whatever he is, of the centuries-old McDonald clan, he said, hang on, why is McDonald's moaning about McBurger when I am actually McDonald? Makes no sense, does it? Just like everything else in this ridiculous state of a place called the world. Anyway, it's been lovely to speak to you. Please hit that like button. Do the follow, subscribe-y thing. Please leave a comment in the thingy that you comment the thing in. And I will be back next week, Monday, 7 o'clock UK time, to see what more lunacy has been carrying on throughout the world. And hopefully we'll gain another couple of followers. Never know. Might be that lucky. I should be so lucky, 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 lucky. See you Monday, everybody. Take care. Have a fabulous, fantastic weekend. If it's really hot where you are, don't melt, okay? Bye. Pattie